quickly start with the discussion. So let me share my screen, and here we go. Okay, so now thing is that I hope my screen is visible. Let me quickly start with the discussion. Okay. Okay. The first thing, guys, whenever you are kind of approaching any kind of investigation, I think I have told multiple times. Thing is that what you need to do is that you need to kind of answer 3 questions, which I have already told you guys. What you need to kind of understand what investigation you are about to conduct. Okay, so that is one thing that you should kind of answer to yourself. That's the first question. The next thing is like, what logs will be necessary to answer the questions related to the investigation. Okay, so you need to figure out what logs are necessary to kind of answer the questions uh, related to the investigation. Okay, the last question will be how we can get those, like how we can, let's say, acquire those logs. Okay, and once we have acquired, what to infer from it, like how what meaning that log is giving. Okay, so these are 3 things. If you kind of proceed with any kind of investigation, either it is network or disk, if you kind of answer, if you approach a investigation using these 3 questions, it will make your life easier. Okay, so whenever kind of you are kind of dealing with any kind of, like, let's say, investigation, one of the thing is that you need to kind of actually define your define your goals. Okay, what specifically you are trying to kind of, uh, let's say, achieve from that investigation. Okay, because let's say you are doing any malware investigation, so you need to, the goal is to kind of find the malware. Okay, and what compromises happen. If the person is the same person, that the system that you are investigating, and if it is belong to the same person, and even though, like, let's say, that person has done some, let's say, data exfiltration in past, for example, this is not, shouldn't be our objective. Okay, our objective should always be that whenever we do any kind of investigation, we try to first stick to the the primary investigation that we are trying to kind of work on. Okay, we shouldn't be kind of checking any other thing during that time. Okay, only when it time permits, then only we try to see any other details. But whenever you are doing any kind of investigation, always try to stick to the common goal, like why you're investigating that host, which is kind of malware investigation. Okay, now that is the one thing. The other thing is that there is no, so as I told, there is no such thing as full forensics. No such thing as full forensics. So no one can kind of investigate the full system and kind of figure out all the things that is happening on that host. It is never possible. So even though, let's say, you are doing any malware investigation, so maybe let's say there were 100 different kind of artifacts for that malware to know, okay, what that malware did. Maybe you can figure out, let's say, 40 of them. Okay, so that's fine. Okay, no, there is no analyst which can kind of find out, okay, all 100 out of 100 of the artifacts that malware might have created on the host. But we try to figure out all the important one as much as possible. Okay, so that's, keep those things kind of in mind whenever you are kind of dealing with any kind of investigation. So what our limitations, and kind of how to proceed, and what questions to kind of answer during kind of any kind of investigation. Okay, so now what we'll do is that, since we have already looked at this part, okay, like file execution and all the other details. We will kind of quickly see what are the, let's say, differences, uh, let's say, that has came up. So right now we are investigating, let's say we are trying to investigate a Windows 7 system, okay, for kind of ease of understanding and keeping the discussion a little bit light and easier to understand for all of you. But let's say you on a legal incident encountered a Windows 8 laptop, or let's say Windows 10 laptop. So you should have little bit idea uh, what all major changes happened between these two operating system. Okay, so for example, let's say if I go over here and let's say so the first thing is that let me just quickly go over here. So there are a few things, guys. I just kind of wanted to kind of share with you guys. So there is something called as prefetch file, right? Prefetch file over here, and prefetch file thing is that what I have learned is that on the Windows 10, there are a few things. Obviously, there are like a lot of extra artifacts that is currently over there. Like for example, if I go to the, there was one section where it was Windows 10, right? Yeah, like this one. Let me just quickly go to that. So for the Windows 10 file, there are multiple new kind of artifacts, but there has also been changed to few of the existing files. So for an example, the prefetch file, there has been a little bit change. I think it is like not in exact like .pf file, but it's a little bit kind of compressed prefetch file. So there has been a little bit difference, like how Windows 10 is kind of getting some artifacts. The other thing is that if you go over here and let me just go to the computer and go to the C drive, okay, and let me just go over here and properties. So one of the thing is that you can enable hidden files over here. So right now the hidden files are not showing up, but what we can do is that we can quickly go to CMD over here, and we can go to CD/C drive, and we can say dir/a. And now if you give this dir/a option, it will showcase you guys few other things right now, like page file.sys over here, okay. Or the other thing what I wanted to say is that there is another file that is kind of always present, most of the time present, is called hyperfill.sys. Okay, hyperfill.sys is something like, let's say in this shutdown option, yeah, there is another option that if I turn it on, what will happen is that there will be another option that will come up is hibernate. Okay, and what happens if I click on hibernate, the system will actually, let's say, it will turn off, but the next time I turn it on, I will be kind of seeing the same kind of process that was running last time is already kind of running on the host. Okay, so what that hibernate actually does is that it actually saves the RAM memory on the host, and the, so what it will do, it will take the image of the RAM memory. Okay, it will take the image of the RAM memory, and it will save that on the C drive. Okay, and it will name that C drive, that file, as hyperfill.sys. Okay, So the file name will be something like